Getting in is easy. Getting out is impossible. If you think the Sinaloa Cartel is like what you see on Netflix series, you're one step away from making the biggest mistake of your life. Most people who join don't even live long enough to collect their second paycheck. In this structure, your life has a price, and it's usually very, very cheap. Today, you're going to descend through every level of this hell, from the kid watching a corner for a few bucks, to the kingpin pulling the strings of the world, but unable to sleep 2 nights in the same bed. By the end of this video, you'll understand why, no matter how much money they pile up, there are only 2 real exits in this pyramid, and neither involves a retirement plan. Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear is the raw reality of the Sinaloa Cartel's hierarchy. Let's start with the weakest yet most necessary link, the punteros or halcones, hawks. Imagine this. You're 16 years old. You're standing on a corner in Culiacan under a 104-degree sun. You don't have heavy weapons. You don't have a tactical vest. All you have is a radio or a cheap burner phone and a motorcycle that barely runs. Your job sounds simple. Watch. But it's the most stressful job in the world. If a military convoy passes through your zone and you don't report it in less than 5 seconds, you're dead. If you let a rival group's truck slip by and your boss finds out from someone else, you're dead. Being a hawk is being the eyes of the monster, but eyes that are perfectly replaceable. You earn a pittance, just enough to survive and buy some fake designer clothes. You're the first to get arrested and the first to be sacrificed when things get ugly. You feel powerful because you work for the boss? The truth is, to them, you're nothing more than a human motion sensor. But let's say you survive. Let's say you're smarter, colder. Then you move up. Welcome to the world of the sicarios, hitmen. Here the game changes. You're no longer just watching. Now, you're executing. This is where you lose your humanity. The training isn't in a luxury gym. It's in the mountains, starving, learning to handle an AK-47 until it becomes an extension of your arm. What is the day-to-day life of a Sinaloa cartel hitman like? It's an endless wait interrupted by bursts of extreme violence. Your life is reduced to obeying orders without question. Go to that house and clear it. Intercept that convoy. Adrenaline is a drug, but fear is your shadow. You know that at any moment, another hitman just like you, but from a rival side, or even your own side due to an internal purge, will receive the order to end you. Hitmen in Sinaloa usually don't last long. They are cannon fodder. If you see those guys with tactical gear and armored trucks flexing on TikTok, remember this. Most of those videos are the last thing they ever record before disappearing in a shootout. But who gives the orders on the street? Now we enter the territory of the cell commanders. This is the rank where you start seeing real money, but also where paranoia becomes your best friend. A commander is in charge of 10, 20, or 50 hitmen. Their responsibility is to maintain control over a specific sector. Unlike the common hitman, the commander has to think. They have to coordinate logistics, ensure the routes are clear, and above all, maintain discipline. If their subordinates make a mistake, the commander pays the price. If the plaza gets too hot and the government starts applying pressure, the commander is the one who has to face it, or be handed over as a peace offering. Being in this rank is living with one foot in prison and the other in the cemetery, all while trying to manage a business built on betrayal. You think you have friends? At this level, there are no friends, only interests. And above them are the true owners of the cities, the plaza bosses. Managing a plaza is like running a multinational corporation, but one where mistakes are paid for in blood. The plaza boss controls everything that happens in his territory, from the flow of drugs to extortion and the relationship with local authorities. Here, the profile usually shifts. They aren't necessarily the most violent anymore, but the most skilled at politics and bribery. A successful plaza boss is one who keeps the business flowing without the city exploding. They have mansions, luxury cars, absolute power over the lives of citizens. But they can't go out to a normal restaurant for dinner. They live in a bubble of extreme security, surrounded by people just waiting for them to fall so they can take their place. It's borrowed power. The moment they stop being useful to those above, or the moment the government needs a big fish, the plaza boss is target number one. But we haven't reached the top yet. Before the big names, there is an elite group, the capo's personal bodyguards. If you are a boss's bodyguard, you are the best of the best in terms of combat and loyalty. You are in the inner circle. You eat what they eat. You travel where they travel. You see the wealth up close, but your only function is to be a human shield. If there's an attack, your job is to die so the boss can escape through a tunnel or the mountains. You have no life of your own. Your family doesn't know where you are. You are a ghost living to protect another ghost. It is the highest prestige military rank within the cartel, but it is a guaranteed death sentence in the event of a special forces operation. And finally, we reach the summit. The capos. The names you hear on the news. Many think, if I become the boss, I'll finally be free. Nothing could be further from the truth. Being a capo of the Sinaloa Cartel is living at the top of a mountain of corpses, knowing the wind is always blowing against you. They have billions of dollars, but they can't walk into a store to buy a pack of gum. They live hidden in the mountains, in ranches that look like luxury prisons. Their food has to be tasted before they eat to prevent poisoning. Their communications are kept to a minimum for fear of satellites. The paranoia is absolute. That loyal lieutenant from 20 years ago, he might be talking to the DIA, that close family member. They might be the one giving the coordinates for the next drone strike. The top isn't a throne. It's a very expensive cell. In the end, the fate of a capo in Sinaloa is always one of three: extradition to a 6x6 cell in the US where they'll never see the sun again, a violent death at the hands of their own partners, or spending the rest of their lives running like an animal through the mountains, watching their empire crumble. So let's go back to the original question. What is it like to be in each rank? At the base, it's hunger and fear. In the middle, it's stress and betrayal. At the top, it's loneliness and paranoia. The Sinaloa Cartel isn't a career path. It's a meat grinder. The system is designed for the institution to survive, not the people. The names change, the faces change, but the pyramid always needs fresh blood to keep running. Is the risk worth it for a few years of power and money you can't spend in peace? The answer lies with the thousands of names that today only exist as wooden crosses in a forgotten cemetery. If this video helped you see the reality behind the corridos and the series, give it a like, and tell me in the comments. Why do you think, despite this inevitable fate, people still want to join the business? I'll be reading you, and if you want to understand how the money from this business moves around the world without anyone detecting it, you have to watch this other video about money laundering. See you there. Subscribe, like, and see you next time.